Mbappé will be the last star player in football history. That's what made you click, right? I mean, at first sight, it's a stupid statement. After all, players carry the sport. You see people everywhere on the streets wearing football shirts with their favorite players' names on them. You watching this probably had posters of your favorite players in your bedroom walls, maybe stickers glued to your notebooks that you would bring to school. And when it was time for recess, you and your friends would play football, but not without imitating your favorite player, your idol. Maybe they inspired you with their grit and determination, maybe they impressed you with their extraterrestrial touch, but the fact of the matter is they meant the world to you, and in a way, no matter your age, they still kinda do. For decades now, Messi and Ronaldo have transcended the sport. I post a video that has absolutely nothing to do with either of them, and trust me when I tell you, someone will find a way to defend their GOAT. Even when they're out of the European spotlight, millions and millions of fans will flock to the small leagues they play in and become devout fans of their new clubs. And that is called star power. On the other hand, time and time again, the game of football has proven to us that success on the pitch has very little to do with star power. Let's compare two football clubs who have more or less the same background and the same benefits, Man City and PSG. Since the early days of their takeover, PSG have always tried to bring the hottest stars from the time to the club. Zlatan, Cavani, Neymar, Mbappé, Ramos, and of course, Lionel Messi. That has massively improved their level for sure. Some of you might be too young to remember, but PSG was nothing more than a mid-table club during the 2000s, and now they're the most successful French team of all time. Still, when they're faced with a higher level of competition in Europe, they fail time and time again. They had Messi, who is seen by many as the greatest of all time, Neymar, one of the most skilled athletes in the history of our sport, and Mbappé, arguably the biggest talent of the current generation. And that star power still wasn't enough to conquer that elusive Champions League title. PSG don't need me to tell them this though, as it's pretty evident they gave up on that strategy. Just by looking at their activity on the last transfer market, you can clearly see a shift in their recruiting. Gonçalo Ramos, Dembélé, Kolo Muani and Ugarte are just a few of the names who have recently arrived at the Parc des Princes. And while you can debate if they're the right reinforcements or not, it's a fact that they don't carry the same star power as the signings PSG used to bring in every summer. Perhaps they got tired of all the locker room drama, or maybe they took some inspiration from their royal brothers, Manchester City. While the citizens also endured a couple of transfer windows where their focus was solely on bringing in stars without a clear plan in mind, since the moment Pep Guardiola arrived, their goals completely changed. Man City focused on building a tactical system where the players that were brought in were tailor-made to fit into Pep's mold, not due to their individual talents, but due to their mentality and ability to fulfill a certain role. As a result, Man City became the undisputed kings of England, and at this point, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that they're the best team in the world. Sure, De Bruyne, Haaland, Diaz are world-class players, but City does not, and will not, rely on them as much as Barca or Real relied on Messi and Ronaldo. Pep has proven this time and time again, even when the man himself told the press that Aguero couldn't be replaced, Haaland came into the picture. And City were merely the first team to do this, as nowadays, more and more clubs are following the same trail. When I look at Liverpool, especially now that Klopp is leaving, it's pretty clear that the club also relies on a system and not on specific players. The once powerful midfielders aged and lost quality. No problem, we'll just find 3 other players that can fulfill the same role to replace them. More than ever, managers are becoming the most important piece of the puzzle, and looking at the current trend, it's only logical to assume that less and less star players will rise in the next couple of decades. Mbappé is arguably the only global football superstar of our era, and even then, his popularity is nowhere near the level of Messi or Ronaldo at 25. From a practical point of view, does this really change anything? It might not look like it now, but it does. We're humans, not robots. We're captivated by personalities, by attitude, by humanity. If footballers show no character and they all play in a patterned way, do you really think the newer generations will care about football as much as we did? Pelé made what you're watching global. Cruyff resonated with the rebel generation of the 70s, Maradona personified the craziness of the 80s, while Zidane and Ronaldinho perfectly defined class and charisma for kids in the 90s and 2000s. Of course, people would still love certain teams from those eras, but what ultimately stands out when you think about football in a certain decade are the players and their characters. If that stops happening, football clubs become more powerful than ever, but the sport itself will lose its shine, its passion, and as a consequence, many of its fans. But hey, if you don't believe me, answer this question. If that kid version of yourself that started watching football didn't watch anyone stand out, scoring bangers out of this world, magical dribbles, or heart-stopping saves, would you care about it as much as you do now? Because if football continues following this pattern trend, I don't think we're that far away from AI-generated footballers. But hey, that's just a theory. A football theory. Do you agree though? Let me know in the comments so we can start a discussion. Drop a like as it really helps pushing the video to more people, and subscribe to Throne FC to never miss the most interesting football discussions, stories and top 10 lists. Thank you for watching till the end, I appreciate you and I will see you soon.